Here's all the new suspension parts for the rear. Both upper control arms, lower trailing arms, the Cradle Lockout Kit, and white line trailing arm bushings on the spindle side, and I've also got energy suspension bushings for the differential. But just wanted to show you guys what we're going with. We'll try it out and show you the video of putting the stuff on. It's not going to be a full in-depth video, but I'll include some things. But let's get this stuff put on, guys. Alright, on your suspension, take this bolt out. This bolt, they're 18mm. And you got the, on the lower trailing arm, this one right here, they're all 18. Then I recommend just taking your brake caliper loose and let it hang there. And then we're going to drop the cradle down so we can get that bolt out, because the factory puts it in backwards and you can't, and it's up against the body, you can't get it out unless you drop the cradle down. And take your two shock bolts out on the upper. The caliper bolts goes in here. This is a 15, and you'll hold this with a 18mm wrench, slide, and just let it hang, or you could take a bungee cord, hang it up, whatever you prefer. But top shock bolts is a 5/8. Alright, the cradle mounting bolts is 18mm also. And I've also got my drive shaft disconnected because I'm putting a new coupler in, a new rubber coupler, because the old one is probably factory. You can see it's starting to rip and tear. So I bought a new one from Mopar and going to put it in. My filler neck, it don't look like I'm going to have to take it off. Should be fine, but I'll let you know. Take your impact. I don't know if you can see that. Put some extensions on it. And get to that first control arm there. Or you can take a ratchet, however you want to do it. It's up to you. But after you get that control arm out, you just take a swivel, your socket, wrench, and get the front one here. Then we'll probably scoot the cradle back just a little bit to get the bolt out. Then we'll turn the bolt around when we go back together. Alright guys, you can see I got it jacked up to floor jack. Got some jack stands under it just in case. And on the front one, you just let it all the way down. Keep a little bit of tension on your jack. I never dropped the exhaust or nothing. It's sitting on it, but it's supported with the jacks and the jack stand. Just take your pry bar and push down on it. You can slide the bolt out of that control arm. I've already got it out. But going back together, we're going to put it the opposite way. That way you don't have to drop the cradle no more to pull the bolt out. Okay, final bolt on the lower control arm. Take your impact, your swivel. See where it's at. Your wrench. Put it on there. Alright, on a Cradle Lockout Kit, this piece is on here. They want you to drill through this, but I just took cut-off wheel, cut the side and pried it off. Then this little rubber pieces that's on here, you take a razor blade or a good knife and cut them off flush. Also got these white line bushings. I already put them in for the spindle side on the lower trailing arm. Already put those in. Right here. But you can see a factory bushings starting to dry rot stuff on these factory control arms. You can see how it was. Alright, we got the whole cradle just about out of it almost, because I had to change the differential bushings too. I'm doing those also. There's the old ones. I done got them out. They was in pretty bad shape. Ripped and tore. You can see how much movement it was doing. It's not good. But I just used some seal knockers the same size. These, just drive them out. This one. Put a big ass 3/4 drive socket on it. It's a there's the size, if you can see it. I just done bolted my differential and slid it forward a little bit. I didn't have to take the cradle all the way out. Didn't have to take my filter neck off. None of that crap. But I'm putting energy suspension polyurethane bushing kit back in for the differential, and yeah, it was all time to upgrade. Everything was wore out. The cradle bushings are still good, but we're doing the lockout kit on it. But all this wore out, clapped out suspension, it still went 1089, so hopefully we can see what the new stuff does. But I'll let you know, good or bad, once I get it all together and get it to track and able to test it out. Just wanted to show y'all that. I just pulled my springs out too, because they was already just hanging there after you drop everything, just to have a little more room. But now it's time to start putting it together. Okay guys, on these upper control arms, they are left and right. We are on the passenger side right now. The part that has more of the bushing surface area points away from the spindle. I did call BMR and confirm that. So it goes like this, then you put the spacer that it comes with. The little shanked end will go towards the spindle, and the big flat side will go on towards the bushing. Guys, on the lockout kit, you take the big spacer, put it inside this bushing, like that right there. Then you take the small one, it goes in the front, same way, shove it all in there. Right on this front one, the lockout, I put the ring in, I laid the ring in there, and I took a wrench, laid on top of it, like so, and took a pry bar and wedged it like this, pushed down level on it, because it didn't want to go by hand. So that's what I had to do on the front. I got a plate from one of my seal knocker kits. Laid the spacer on here, put it on there like that. Took my pry bar, pried it down, force it in there. Because the front one's a little bit of a pain, but it's in there now. Alright guys, this is what the control arms look like when they're on. See how they go. This is the passenger side. Show you the other side. Here's the driver's side. Here's our differential bushings. Where's the part number? I did already look at these, and they're marked passenger side and driver side on the big bushings. They look to be the same diameter. I don't really know what the difference would be, but we're going to put them where it says it's supposed to go. And it came with new Pinion Mount bushings and all the inserts and nuts, everything you need. So we'll get these installed. Guys, here's what we got going on. Installing the diff bushings. I took a big long all thread bolt, put a big washer on this end, and used one of my plates from my seal knockers and put in there, and then just used a ratchet wrench and tightened it up to push it in there. You could probably honestly tap it in with a hammer if you could get a decent swing on it, but this works too. Alright guys, I want to kind of show you what to do on this side. Get your all thread bolt and your big washer and stick it through your bushing. Then fish it up in through behind this and get it started with your hand. Then take your if you got a big enough washer, and use it. But this is one of my seal knockers, the plates. You gotta hold the back of it a little bit so you can get it started. And when you get a little tension on it and it's flush on the back, it's in. And take it back apart. Okay, see, I don't know how well you can see that. Then take your the bushing, not your bushing, but your insert, and just get it started. Just tap it in. Like so. Get it flush against the back. There it is. I don't know if you can see it or not, but and we'll put the front one on and bolt the differential back in. Alright, this is your front pinion mount. I already got the old bushings out of it. On top of this, there's a dust cap. You pop it off. Then you got the nut and the top bushing in this. Then of course your bottom one. You take the, this is the new one. I already put the insert in it. So we're just gonna drop it in there. Like so. take the big washer that it comes with, put on top of that. Then you'll take the bottom part, like right here, and get it on there. Alright, we got that on. Now we're going to bolt the differential back up. Alright, on the Cradle Lockout Kit, the bottom plates. Your big one goes here on the back, and the front one has the lip on it, goes in the front. Alright guys, we got it all back together. I want to show you a little thing on the Get Track differentials, putting them in the older cars. You can see we got the new bushings in. See, this is a Get Track 306. All you need when you put these in, you need the Get Track axles, all the way up to 14, and the SRTs and stuff. You can get them. This is what these are from, 11 and 14 axles. I found them on eBay, $270. Then mine is the 3-bolt flange. As you can see, 3-bolt flange, you don't need nothing there. If it's 3-bolt, it bolts straight up. The only other thing you need is the hubs, 32 spline hubs, which is, I've got Detroit Axle brand hubs, they're $100. And you need this longer bolt from Mopar. Or you can probably find one in a hardware store. But Pinion Mount, you'll need to put your bushing in the middle, like that, when swapping these. But that's the new differential bushings. Everything's together. Alright guys, that's all for the rear suspension install. We done the BMR Cradle Lockout Kit. Done the lower BMR non-adjustable control arm. The BMR upper non-adjustable control arm. BMR upper non-adjustable trailing arm. And we done energy suspension polyurethane differential bushings. The factory bushings that was in the differential, that was just recent where it started ripping and flexing those pretty good, so we upgraded. You could see it was flexing it pretty good. And the factory control arms with the wore out bushings, it was due for an upgrade. On suspension stuff, it didn't have no slop or any play in it, but you can see the bushings was starting to go. So it was about time to upgrade. But as far as suspension goes, the only other thing I want to do is get some rear drag shocks and the performance development differential brace they came out with for these older cars with the Get Track. And maybe the BMR rear toe links. That will probably be it. My front suspension, I redone all it last year. It's all factory stuff. But new ball joints, new control arms, struts, all that stuff. And that's probably all. One more thing, I got on the rear suspension, which I done this when I first got the car to fit the drag radials on it. I got B Woody rear sway bar links, the shorter ones, because you have to have shorter sway bar links to fit a 17-inch wheel on the back. If not, it rubs the sway bar. But other than that, that's about all suspension wise we'll probably do. We'll see how it goes, hoping to see a little bit of better time at the track. Our best so far is a 1089 1/4 with a 158 60 foot. You can see it in some of my older videos, but I would like to see at least a 10th better if we can get down there in some good weather. But we'll see how it goes. It might not pick up nothing. It might pick up something. We'll see. But that is all for now. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.